So, in my previous video, you saw my KATO Union Pacific 844 hauling about 67 coal cars if I remember correctly. But I don't know if you noticed anything different, or at least for you N-scale modelers. What was different? Well, I got a freight version. I have a freight version of 844, but KATO does not offer the 844 as the freight version. So, how did I do it? Well, I bought another FEF model, the freight version, which was Union Pacific 838, and I did the simple life hack of swapping out the numbers. Anything that had a number on it, I swapped it out, which included the number boards up here, the headlight, the cab, and the rear of the tender. Now, some parts of it aren't exactly spot on. The freight version is a little more matte black, while the excursion version, which is the 844, is slightly glossier. Thankfully, it's not as noticeable. The cab here is a little more glossier, so is the rear. The numbers on the excursion version versus the freight version, they're completely white. But Union Pacific, on the freight version is silver, excursion is white, and for the back end, white on the excursion version and silver on the freight version. So, other than that little difference, you really can't tell that I swapped the numbers unless I told you. Now, why did I do it? I'm a big fan of 844 in the standard black as a second to the gold striped Greyhound, which is my first favorite because that's how I knew about the 844. But I find the black freight version of 844 to be, I guess, more rugged. It looks like it's ready to do some work, and even then it looks fast. The excursion version I find a little too dolled up, almost looks like a park display if you ask me. I mean, it's not bad, but it's just not something I prefer. So, you might be wondering whatever happened to the Excursion 844. Oh, there you are. So, I swapped it completely. So, 838 is now the new Excursion FEF-3. For some odd reason, I actually like it that way. I guess because 838 isn't operational, it would be more appropriate to kind of decorate it up as, you know, a static display engine, make it look nice and pretty, but some minor differences. But overall, pretty much the same. I was doing some work on this locomotive as 844 a few months ago. I intended to give it a sound decoder upgrade, and I bought a Digitrax sound decoder, which is this thing. Garbage. These are garbage. That's where it's gonna go. I don't need this. Garbage. Useless. Absolute garbage. I am very disappointed that I even wasted my money on getting that. So, if you do intend to get any of your FEFs upgraded to sound, you're gonna pay some money, but it'd be worth it, and have it done professionally, or I should say, have it done by someone who knows what they're doing if you aren't that type of person to do it. So, that is my Freight 44, and I like it that way. So now what we're going to do is, I have a really long coal train. I don't think it's 67 cars like the last time, but it's a pretty long train regardless. I've got the ox tender over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 844. We'll leave the 838 behind. Oh, which I should mention, the engine does work, as you saw a couple minutes ago, but the decoder's a little wonky. I'm just gonna replace it because I kept fiddling around with it and I think I might have bent it out of shape. And the clip to the trailing truck underneath, half of it snapped. Right there. You see that little clip? See how half of it's kind of broke? I don't know if you can see it in... Yeah, you can't. Anyway, it snapped, so it won't stay in place. So if I want to run this locomotive, I'm gonna have to address those issues. I will run it. I will run it because why not? I might do a double header one of these days, but I also have to get a another pilot with the actual coupler to do double heading. But that's something for the future. So anyway, what we're gonna do, we're gonna move 838 out of here, and this will be the start of the show. Alright, let's move her out.
you.